On. Hey everyone, it's Michelle Van Curve, autistic self-advocate, known as Exceptional Shell, and from my blog website known as the World of Autism. I got a returning guest on this episode, Mark Fleming. How's it going, Mark?
Hi, it's actually Dr. Mark Fleming now.
Yeah, we got an update here from Dr. Mark Fleming.
Yes.
So, tell us more about that. I know it's been a while since we've had an episode together, so
Yeah. Geez. So kind of big stuff happened, got in a car accident, ended up realizing that, the studio wouldn't last with me and my physical condition due to the car accident. Ended up needing surgery on my neck for that. And so after the surgery, I closed the studio down and moved to Arkansas up north. And after some trying to get into the real world and get hired by companies and whatnot, unsuccessfully, uh, kind of pushed me towards reopening the business, more focusing on virtual stuff. Um, so virtual training, virtual consulting with health and fitness. So if someone's not really there yet and wanting to exercise, or they need help with other things with their health, or whether it's behavior changes that way, with eating healthier, stuff like that. Um, and business consulting, so consulting neurodiverse businesses and stuff like that. And also blogging, bringing my blog back, which kind of started my advocacy efforts through these autistic eyes. So yeah, it's been a busy time, but also graduating with my doctorate and finishing my dissertation, and I'll be walking the stage in May. So
that's awesome to hear. Congrats about that. Wow, in May. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, it's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quick. It's quick.
Hey, it went by fast for sure. And I didn't even know that you had a blog before that you were running,
Yeah,
besides
so
your
when I
business.
originally was working in ABA as a behavior assistant, a lot
Mm.
of people there pushed me to um, kind of do a blog because my experiences were very unique. My viewpoint was very unique. You probably understand when you get into a small autism network, and you've accomplished things. You're doing more than most. People are like amazed at what you're doing, and they just want to they want your opinions on everything and all this and that. And I didn't even know I had sensory issues back then. So things have changed drastically since then. But when I started working for myself, I threw that away just because it was taking too much time. So getting back into that, um, and kind of influencing as well with that, is the idea is that I have all this knowledge, doctorate level knowledge, and just getting it out there to people so that they can, learn and be able to be healthier, happier, in their day-to-day lives.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And what made you decide to make it virtual now, your
Um,
business?
So a lot of things in studio kind of didn't fit me,
Hmm.
and that downtime from the accident forced downtime, right? I had to go to chiropractic twice a week for
Hmm.
like 8 weeks, where I was literally just lying down for an hour, and I couldn't
Hmm.
go table. I couldn't go, I couldn't do the things I did to get my business where it was. So I had a lot of downtime and could process certain things, and there were certain sensory things that I couldn't deal with and stuff like that, even though and I was successful during COVID, right? Like I kept the business afloat during COVID. So there were there were things I could do virtually, and if I could still do it virtually, I can bring in more clientele. If I'm not having to be at the studio, I don't have to bring people to the studio to pay for said studio, right? The
Mm.
studio was probably about 80% of costs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm reducing that drastically. Um, which during COVID, since I had to since I was it was only the first year, right? I was just getting out of the first year of the business.
Hmm.
And things were going great, but COVID kind of shut everything down. Had to take on a business loan that pushed the business behind. I mean, there were tons of reasons to go virtual, but financial is probably the biggest one. But it
Hmm.
allows me to see people throughout the world if
Yes.
that happens. Obviously, I'm trying to build up the publicity again and all that because I went
Hmm.
dead silent for almost a year because of the accident,
Right.
uh, the recovery from the accident, the
Hmm.
lawsuit from the accident, all of
Oh.
that stuff that I just didn't need going public. And so I had to
Hmm.
literally step back majorly
Hmm.
due to all that. And so now I'm trying to recover all that momentum, all that, hype that I had um, really from 2019, um,
Yeah.
which trickled over into some good things in 2022 and 2023.
Hmm.
But it's a constant, thing because now I'm in a new place, right? And I have to get acquainted into the community here. And as you know,
Hmm.
those groups are a little hard to get into. So you have to slowly work your way in and gain that trust and all that. So it's a
Hmm.
process.
Yeah. Like I can't even imagine like how that was like for you moving again, like moving like
Yeah.
to, you know, like a lot of changes and stuff and like just like you as you said, like building that momentum again. Stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to it. I had to when I first started out of the trunk of my car, and then once I got a space, then after COVID, like that was one of the things where I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do something, if I build it back up, it's going to be virtual because I don't have to adjust, right? I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to build it back up again. I can see the same people if they choose, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to start from ground zero because going in home, you gain different clients than in studio. And then
Mm-hmm.
after COVID, then I had to get even different clients because of all the precautions and whatnot that people were needed, right? So it was a
Right.
constant, restructuring of how to get people. So now I'm figuring it out with virtual now, even though I do have a gym that I will be working at as well.
Oh, what's the gym you're working at?
So it's a nonprofit kind of multi-purpose facility down
Hmm.
here called the Jones Center.
Okay.
And it has a fitness center that I'll be working out of.
Nice.
And cool little factoid about it is it's majorly sponsored by Tyson Chicken.
That's
It's
great.
just a little weird thing, right?
Yeah.
But that gives me an opportunity to create videos, show people that I know what I'm doing with machines because when I was at the studio and in home, I was using non-traditional exercise methods, right? So just showing people, hey, like it doesn't matter where you are, what you got, I can work with you. Um, and just being able to create content and stuff with that.
Right. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Are you doing like Are you just doing like one-on-one when you're virtual, or are you gonna do a mix of like one-on-one and like group sessions, things like that?
Groups would be kind of hard, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably be consulting with a group, and it's, siblings, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that would be one example. But groups would kind of be hard
Mm-hmm.
because it's virtual, so I can't like wait in line to receive payment and stuff like that or
No.
do group sessions, and it just be the dynamic would be really weird. But maybe I could do like that could be a possibility. Multiple people on a Zoom, maybe. Who knows? There's things to test out, things,
Mm-hmm.
like right now I'm mainly trying to test out where my market is, right? Is it
Mm-hmm.
Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Where are
Mm-hmm.
these likes coming in? Where is this traction coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Which happens, as you probably know, with your blog, trying to
Yeah.
figure out where your audience is going to come from. And since I'm doing things differently,
Mm-hmm.
like I just posted my first fitness blog yesterday, and I've been up for almost 2 weeks now, right? And
Okay.
I haven't been posting about fitness, but that's like my thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not pigeonholing myself in just as a personal trainer, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm personal training, I have the personal training hat on. There's certain
Mm-hmm.
things I can and certain things I can't do, right? But as the
Mm-hmm.
business owners of a fitness brand, hey, I'm gonna, show you my diet routine, stuff like that I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't as a personal trainer because they have certain stipulations, right? As a
Mm-hmm.
business owner, I can say, look, I need you to talk to a registered dietitian or your doctor before you try anything. But this
Mm-hmm.
is what I do. And as an autistic individual that has a doctorate in kinesiology,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I do and what works for me. So yeah, go talk to somebody, but as someone that has all this experience, all this knowledge, this is what I do and this is why I do it. And from an autistic standpoint and from a professional standpoint, right? So you're
Mm-hmm.
you're not just getting the autism influence, you're getting someone with over 15 years of school into this, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
there's a
for
lot more
sure.
experience behind it. So it's not just like, well, they're autistic or well, they have all this experience. It's a combined kind of
Oh, for sure. Having the hands-on experience, like in the role, and having the education for it, like that's huge. You
yeah.
know,
Well,
that's what people
well,
look for.
Well, that's why I went for my doctorate, right? Like I looked
Hmm.
around at the competition and the highest person in the field that was working with individuals, with disabilities in the fitness realm, they had a master's. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go do better than that. I'm gonna go for my doctorate, right? So I can be the leading expert. Because not only am I the leading expert in the field, but
Hmm.
now I also am part of that community, right? Like you can't get better than that, right? When you're looking
Hmm.
for an expert. And that's what I think a lot of people miss out on when they're looking at inspiration for the next generation up and coming is it's not just influencers because they're autistic or disabled, but they're that and, right? They're
Hmm.
autistic and they're professionals in their field that are doing the highest level stuff that they can do, that they're capable of doing, right? Because some
Hmm.
people may not be able to get a doctorate due to whatever reason, but seeing that that could be a potential possibility is better than just someone like, oh yeah, I'm autistic and I'm, a fitness influencer.
Hmm.
Like
Right.
there
Yeah.
needs to be more seen, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. That was like for me, like I was building up my in my work before. Now I've been a behavior specialist and I'm a BCABA. So like
Yeah.
going through that, like at my full-time job with the school district, I literally just found out even earlier today with I had a whole evaluation meeting with my head boss and my direct supervisor, and they're like, I'm the only one out of my other colleagues that actually has a BCABA certification.
Oh
And it's
wow.
crazy. I just like think about that. I'm like,
Yeah,
we do
it's the whole
ABA work.
notion it's the whole notion that we as people with disabilities have to do more just to meet, the
Yeah.
minimum. Um, which is interesting because once I started, looking for work and have a doctorate essentially,
Hmm.
is I'm now finding people like, why do you want this job? This is lower than you. And I'm like, you look into my background real quick and you'll realize, you know, because when I just had a bachelor's, like I wasn't getting a secondhand look at stuff. I got a master's, got questioned, and then now doctor, it's like, why are you even considering this? It's like because like and then I'm not qualified enough for things that I am qualified for because of certain reasons, right? It's just it's a crazy thing that we have to deal with, right? That doesn't get brought I don't think gets brought up enough with the higher educated individuals with disabilities.
Between that and also like with a lot of workplaces, honestly, it's HR. I will say that because I think that like from the standpoint of like seeing that like hey, this person has the degree and stuff, but like and then when people are interviewing and stuff, it's like people start to just question everything rather than like, you know, like have a genuine
I
conversation and stuff like that, like, rather than just questioning like 24/7.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So,
I was lucky to just get interviews half the time this last couple of years. Um,
man.
because you look me up, like it's everywhere.
Hmm.
Like it's not like, oh, this can be someone different. So, it is what it is, it's just something we have to advocate, for
Hmm.
and hopefully educate a little better. Because a lot of people in our condition, they think the arts, they think sci like computer science
Hmm.
are like really nerdy science, right? Like I'm a kinesiologist. That's sports
Hmm.
and science, and people are like, "Whoa, wait, what?" Like sports is jock and science is geek, but yet you're autistic. How can you be a jock? Like that doesn't make any sense because you're supposed to have, all these special interests. How can it be something that isn't all the way nerdy? Like,
Right.
is
Mm.
like I'm a person. I like exercise. I like sports. Like that's just who I am, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty much like people have like in society has like this pre-notation of like, oh, this is where you should fit here, here. What really we don't everybody's their own unique person.
Yeah,
Like for me,
they really
for
are.
me, like I going into ABA was really important for me and stuff. Like a lot of it for me was driven from my own personal experiences with early intervention, like, so uh it just is, you know, I know there's a lot of controversy about that, but at the same time, like it's with that field, it's evolved a lot. Still a lot of work, but yeah, it's just, you know, the point is that like people shouldn't have like this like pre-notation of like where where autistic people should be like, oh, being in computer science and things like that. Everybody's
Yeah,
has their own interests at the end of the day of what they want to pursue in life. So,
yeah. It's
yeah.
craziness.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to wrap this up with one with one advice, like one tip that you would give to, like what would be one tip that you would give to autistic and neurodiverse people who are going for their doctorate?
Don't go for your doctorate, don't go for it.
Don't
It's
go for
it's too hard. It was literally the hardest thing. I just say that because the business was actually prospering in 2021 when I started going for it and kind of
it. Hmm.
coasted. And then I got in an accident and it kind of derailed the business. Um, but if you're truly passionate and you want to teach and everything, go for it. I wanted it because once I found out that because growing up I was called stupid and stuff like that. That once I got in my master's program and actually looked around and saw that I wasn't inferior to the doctorate students I was in class with, I was like, I have to go for it because it will feel so satisfying afterwards. Because essentially, right now, I will be referred to as Dr. Mark Fleming the rest of my life. No one can take that away from me, and you can't prove I'm not smart, right?
Hmm.
Like, if you've ever followed any of my journey, my perseverance is probably one of my biggest things in my life, and proving people wrong. And so climbing this mountain was sort of the biggest um, proving people wrong, right? That they didn't know who I'd become, right? I was
Hmm.
called the R word for not holding a pair of scissors the right way. Like, so to me, like that was someone telling me who I was going to be before I became who I was, right? And I struggled throughout my young life dealing with people putting me in a box without me not even understanding myself. And it took me a long time. So if, you know, going back to the question, if you really want it, go for it. It's awesome. It's a experience that will break you down, but it's one of the greatest feelings to get through your dissertation and be done with it. Like literally, they came back with no questions during my dissertation, and I'm sitting there like, what? I thought they were gonna grill me. Like I thought, I was gonna. They were gonna tell me, oh no, you gotta go back and redo this whole thing, right? Um,
Hmm.
so it's really self-fulfilling, unless you're gonna be a teacher, which wasn't my goal. So, go for it if you want to. But if it's just a whim thing, don't. It's really hard.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely could see that. Like, I know I've been told by family and like from a lot of people that like for me personally, that I should keep going and stuff. But I'm like, uh, it's it's been back and forth for quite a
Yeah. Well,
while.
it's different. This was virtual. So
Mm,
having to deal with all that, because I was so used to getting reminders in class and seeing people and all this. Virtual, it's like you complete this here, complete that on
mm,
that date, and then you have this big dissertation in the background. So, it's just really it was an interesting process, but ultimately fulfilling. If it's, a dream of yours, go for it for sure. Just don't do it to just do it.
right.
Because it is daunting. But if you get a master's and you feel like you're doing well and you want to go for it, go for it. Like, um, you'll be rewarded in the end. It's a journey though.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey of itself for sure. Yeah, for sure. I just want to thank you right now for coming back on to share all the updates and everything. Like, there's so much that's happened and stuff. So, thanks so much about that. And for people who do watch this, make sure to follow, follow and support here because
Yes.
trying to build things back up and all. And also for people watching, like, don't forget to follow my content, known as Exceptional Shell. My user tag name is at Self Advocate MV. And don't forget about with my blog website as well, the World of Autism.